Hey you guys, welcome back to What I Don't Know About Things Will Shock You by Genevieve Events by Lee Junpei. Today we will be blind reacting, to a creepypasta called Emergency Alert, Stay Inside and Lock Your Doors by Lighthouse Horror Stories. So without further ado, let's just get right into it.
You get an emergency alert on your phone that says to stay inside, lock your doors, and don't let anyone in. Do you A, immediately open your front door and go outside? B, let your friends in? Or C, lock your doors and don't let anyone in?
Definitely C. Definitely C.
No matter what happens, here's what Alex did. It was a long week at work. I left late again and couldn't even catch the sunlight on the way.
Sorry, the story is by Dusty Bronco. The narrator is Lighthouse Horror Stories. The video is a year old. I am awake for 20 hours? Yeah, sounds about right.
Way home, but at least it was over. Monday was a whole new problem for future me, I thought. As I shut my apartment's door behind me, I flipped on the news, threw my bag and jacket on the couch, and started to see what I could make myself for dinner, preferably in the microwave.
Reports of break-ins and assault. So far, victims all claim it was someone they know.
What? I closed the freezer door and moved back into the living room.
Okay, I don't know why you are surprised, Mr. Alex, I think her name was. It's always somebody you know. 99% of percent of the time, that's what the statistics say. I know it's about 80. I know because I actually heard it in a news video. You know, I'm well informed.
And turned the TV up a little more.
No suspects have been positively identified thus far, but all reported attackers claim they were at home or at work when the alleged break-ins occurred. Police Chief Adams is here with advice.
My phone let out a loud, harsh alarm noise and vibrated hard in my pocket. I read, alert, shelter in place, do not attempt to leave, updates to follow. I returned my focus to the TV, just in time to see the police chief at the podium.
Lock your doors and windows, close your curtains, and don't answer the door for anyone, even if you know them. Trust no one. If you see someone outside, don't interact with them in any way. And most importantly, if you see...
The police chief trailed off, looking across the stage. A wave of panic spread through the audience. A woman in a suit, holding a lead pipe, had gotten up on the stage and was briskly walking towards the police chief. An officer dove her to the ground, and the shaky camera feed was cut. The news
I'm sorry, why is the camera shaky? Okay, imagine this. Police chief is giving a press conference, okay? A random woman walks up on the stage. Cameras are pointing at the stage, so they don't practically have to be on the stage. Maybe in a distance. Maybe like a bit off the stage, maybe on the stage too. I get it, maybe sometimes, right? But why is the camera shaky? Don't they have tripods? Like, it's a news conference. It's literally on the news. And also, why did they specify that the camera went janky or shaky as soon as the officer told the lady, you know? What the hell did the officer have to do with the positioning of the camera? Make it make sense. People are stupid. People choose to be stupid in difficult situations. I am convinced by this one sentence. Like, cameraman, the officer is right there. If you're gonna die, if the lady was about to kill you, she would come to you, not the police chief. You're just doing your job. Like, nobody kills the cameraman. Why are you scared, bitch?
turned to a stunned anchor.
Thank you, Police Chief Adams. Now for the traffic and weather report. Justine?
The screen changed to the local highway. Traffic was at an absolute standstill. Some people were standing on cars waving at the camera.
Also, I am sorry, whoever cut the police officer off, right? Like, thank you, Mr. Police. Bro, something happened on the stage. If I am watching the news and I'm seeing some lady get tackled, I want to know what happened. Don't you want your ratings to go higher? Like, so, are you not a business? Hello? What? Like, put the camera back on the stage, show me what happened, show me who the lady was, show me who died, show me what the police chief did. Like, explain the situation, Mr. Police Officer, what did you do? Is she one of the people you're warning us about? Is she your ex-wife? Is she your mom telling you to go do the dishes? I need an explanation. Bad journalism. Like, you don't care about your ratings. That is so sad. You are pathetic.
Clearly trying to get someone's attention, other people had apparently abandoned their cars and were running through them or along the divider. A few ran off the highway altogether and into the narrow stretch of woods separating it from the nearby suburb.
Justine? Justine, are you there?
My phone buzzed again. It read, "Alert, do not attempt to leave. Violators will be shot on sight. Updates to follow."
Oh my god. Y'all, my first instinct would be to peek my head out the window and see what happened. Peek my head out, whatever's closer, my first instinct would be to do that. Open the window, see what happened, then step outside, be like, yo, what's up, neighbor? How's it going? Like, do you know what's happening around here? You getting these messages too? I'm gonna die if I was here, honestly. It's funny though.
Just then, I heard a knock at my door. I barely had a chance to stand up before they tried opening my door. I checked the peephole and saw it was my friend Pat. I went to reach for the doorknob, but stopped myself. "Hey, it's me. Could you let me in, please?" I just saw Pat at work an hour ago. He left early so he could get to the pub before traffic got too bad. He was making direct eye contact with me through the peephole and grinning. Both hands were behind his back. A baseball bat poked out from behind him. Were those razor blades attached to it?
Pat, why the fuck would you do something so stupid if you're trying to attack me? At least hide the weapon. Hey, is it me? I mean, hey, why did he say? I forgot, it was 2 seconds ago. I'm sorry. He was like, yo, open up, it's me. Bro, who is me? Who the fuck is me? What if, like, I know 10 people with the same voices? What if I don't know voices, you know?
Just then, I got a text from Pat. "Having a hell of a time at the pub tonight.
Oh my god. Oh my fucking god. Do your fucking research. If you're a doppelganger, vampire, whoever, shapeshifter, do your fucking research. If you're gonna pretend to be my mom, at least follow her schedule. Maybe show up 10 minutes before she's supposed to show up at my house, you know? Or maybe make sure she doesn't show up if you wanna show up to my house. Like, use some sense. You have superpowers, yet you don't have common sense. God gave you powers, but God didn't give you the brain to use them.
Wish you were here. Stop by if you feel better, alright?" He sent a picture of him and some folks from the office, toasting me with glasses raised. The Pat that was at my door pulled at the doorknob again, violently. "My legs hurt from running all the way here. Let me in, okay?"
Who the fuck told you to run? If my friend is like, my legs hurt from running all the way over here, you chose to run. I did not tell you to run. Give me another lap, then I'll decide. Did you deserve it? Do you deserve a fucking break? No, show me how much you can run.
He sounded angry. I slid the deadbolt.
Oh, and on top of that, you want to be angry at me? Fuck you. Like, how do you have the audacity to ask me for help while yelling at me?
Shut on the door. I studied him a little closer. I would have believed Pat if he told me he had a twin. Everything about it was the same, right down to the scar on its cheek. I called Pat. Voicemail. I called again. Voicemail. I yelled at my door, "What's my name?" All went silent for a few seconds.
Again, to make this video silent for a few seconds, I am sorry, I just had to interrupt. It's been, what, 10 minutes and I interrupted so many times? Wait, we've been only 5 minutes of the video. Bro, your friend texted to you, hey, we're having a good time. He's just giving you a little life update. Sorry about the little Snapchat thing. I should have muted my phone. He gave you a life update. you think he's gonna answer his phone if you like call him as soon as he sends you a picture? Like, okay, he's having fun. He's drinking. He's partying. He's living the like. Actually, no, it was a apocalypse, right? No, so he's busy running for his life, even though he just sent you a picture. Yeah, he's busy trying to live. He doesn't have time for your phone call.
Then the imposter said, "Let me in. Let me in. Let me in. Let me in." It was crashing against the door with its full body weight. The door shuddered each time.
Babes, calm down. Calm down. Like, if you want to come in, so I don't know why you're trying to break in if you cannot come in before I tell you to before I literally allow you to come in. Isn't that like a law or something in Vampire Wars or some shit? So, wouldn't it be more persuasive if you were nicer and gentler? Then I would have more of an into more motivation to let you in.
But didn't give. I paced back and forth. I tried calling the police, but waited on hold for 5 minutes before the system abruptly disconnected me.
Imagine this. Somebody's knocking at your front door trying to bang it down. 911, please hold. What the fuck are you supposed to do then? What? What are you supposed to do? Hey mom, somebody's breaking my front door. Call the cops, son. Call the cops. They put me on hold, mom. I don't know what to do.
I went back to the door and looked out the peephole. Pat's imposter was gone. I returned to the couch and stared at the TV. The news had remained on a shot of the empty newscaster's desk. Suddenly it shifted to a connection lost screen and played a loud, harsh tone that hurt my ears. I quickly grabbed the remote and shut it off. Just then, my phone rang in my pocket and startled me so badly I nearly jumped. It was my friend Beth. I answered immediately. "Beth, are you okay?"
Holy shit. I'm so glad you answered. I came home and all my roommates are gone. There's blood all over the walls. Everything's trashed. I think something happened while I was out. I tried calling the police, but I can't get through.
Beth and I have known each other for years. When I was new to the school district, a group of kids decided to pick on me. She stood up to them, fiercely, and nobody ever bothered me again.
See, now that's sweet. That's the kind of friends you need. Beth is a real one, not that imposter. Like, bro, if you try whatever Beth said on the phone, if the imposter said it outside the door, he would have opened it. One shot. Not even think about it.
hung out with her for my own protection, but it didn't take long for us to find out we had a lot in common. Beth continued to speak, but a little quieter now.
I keep hearing noises all around the apartment complex. People shouting and fighting. I saw the news and I don't know what's going on.
Honestly, if I still have electricity, if everything around me is going on, I'm gonna play Family Guy loud, put my headphones in, and then take a nap till everything is over.
But I know I don't feel safe. I need somewhere to go.
Well, my apartment seems safe right now. But how do I know you're the real you? I asked.
I'm sorry, what?
Beth, I'll explain more when you get here. Just humor me, please.
Well, I'm the real me because I knew my phone's unlock pin, and because you're the first person I called.
I am sorry. How do I know you're the real you? How do I know you're not the real you? What? There's no way to ask this. What if the person shapeshifted into Beth, also like tortured her for hours, and then stole her memories or some shit? You don't know that. And what is this? Once you get here, I will explain everything. Bro, just explain it over the phone. Just explain it over the phone. If you have time to quiz her, you have time to explain it. Just be like, it sounds crazy, but there's this guy outside my door claiming to be Perry. But Perry just texted me saying he's at a bar. So like, I don't know. And he also just looks like Perry. It's that simple.
I realized how silly I sounded.
Yes, you are fucking silly. You are a bad friend. I'm convinced.
I don't even know why I asked. You're right, Beth. I'm sorry. Look, why don't you come over right away? We'll hang out and play some board games until this is all back to normal.
Alright, that sounds like a plan. Remind me, where do you live again?
You've been here 100 times, Beth.
Exactly what I said happened would happen. See? Oh my god, I am psychic. What did I tell y'all? And also, were you planning on hanging up on her? Like, wouldn't it be smarter to FaceTime her all the way till the time she gets to your front door? That way you know that it's actually her? Like, bro, come on, be smart about it. You're in apocalypse, you may die.
Beth, I'm pretty sure you could sleepwalk here if you wanted to. You're not serious, right?
No, you're not serious.
Beth replied, with an animosity that I've never heard from her before.
How about you come home to blood on the walls and an empty apartment? Then we'll see how much you can remember on the spot.
I felt a wave of uncertainty and hesitated.
Hey, hello?
You're right, I'm sorry. I'm in the Shady Grove Apartments, Unit 232. Beth was silent. I waited before continuing. It's on Brooklyn Avenue. Still, she remained silent. Next to the dilapidated theater. You remember, right?
Uh-huh, absolutely. I'm walking over now. See you soon.
I've never heard her act like this, but stress can have funny effects on people, I guess. I'd have a little time before she arrived. No better time for dinner. About 20 minutes later, I heard a knock at my door. I'd just finished putting my plate in the sink. Before I even left the kitchen, Beth said, "Could you let me in?"
I'm sorry. 20 minutes later, your friend called you. Hey, I am so scared for my life. Yeah, sure, come over. That's what you said, okay? Your friend said, okay, I'll be there. What you do? You eat dinner before your friend is there? Your friend who's scared and terrified? Maybe feed her too. Eat dinner together and talk about everything over dinner. I mean, I know, like, it's not the best time to, like, talk over dinner, but y'all both hungry, y'all both scared, you know? And also, you know it's not the one. Like, no matter how stressed somebody is, if it is a safety place, that is their first instinct. They don't forget where they go. Like, no matter where you are, right? Like in your hometown, basically. Like from school to home, okay? Or work to home. If something is happening, if whatever is closest, either home, either work, you know where it is. Doesn't matter where. If your best friend's home is on the way, you know where the best friend's home is. And they sounded like best friends, so like, you're not gonna call your bestie, I'm in danger, can I come to your house? What's your address? Nah, that's suspicious. Like, bro was right. Like, girl, you stayed the night over here last night. I mean, I know Beth didn't, but just saying. Just saying. You stayed the night over. You know where it is. You literally show up in my house when I'm not there. Like, you know, that's just how things are. That's how close we are, so you should know. This is like your second home. Come on now, don't be stupid.
I quickly went over to the door and looked through the peephole. Sure enough, it was Beth. She was absent-mindedly looking at the walls around my door before locking eyes with me through the peephole. A second later, she looked away. I opened the door and let her in. Well, make yourself comfortable. I had the news on, but I don't think they're coming back. I'll dust off the board games. What do you want to play first? That sounds great. You should pick one, she said. I was shuffling through my stack of games. Really? You always fight me if we don't play at least one game of. I heard a floorboard creak behind me, and I turned around. Beth was standing a few feet away from me. I'm gonna go use the bathroom, okay? She said. Yeah, go ahead. And please never ask again, I replied. I picked a game and went over to the couch. Beth had been gone for a few minutes. I channel surfed a bit, hoping to find something interesting. Some time passed, and still I was sitting alone. Beth's phone buzzed on the table. There were 4 missed calls from various people. I picked her phone up and started to call back out to her, but stopped myself. The phone had opened right to her home screen without any PIN. I checked her call log and saw she'd called every single person in her contacts and stopped after me. She lied, both about her phone's PIN and about calling me first.
I don't blame her. Honestly, I feel like Beth is innocent at this point. You knew it wasn't the Beth you know. You fucking knew. But you chose to be stupid. What can I say? Like, bro, are you horny for her? Just say that. But no, it's not even that. You just chose to be stupid. If you die, that is on you. I'm sorry. Not sorry.
Or maybe she was just forgetful? I needed another way to make sure it really was her, something less direct, so she wouldn't get mad again. Hey Beth, how's your brother Danny these days? Beth was standing in my kitchen, looking through the drawers. She stopped on the silverware drawer. Oh, Danny's fine. Beth has two sisters, neither of which were...
I'm sorry, I was gonna say something like, babes, how the fuck are you gonna let her stand in front of a silverware drawer? Now, if you choose to confront her while you know that she is in front of the drawer that has all the silverware in it, you're asking for your death. She can easily throw all the knives at you, all the forks at you. She is in the kitchen. Kitchen is like literally the arsenal house of the house. Arsenal room, ammo room, I don't know. You know, like the gun room of the military base. Yeah, that makes more sense.
Named Danielle. We don't know any Dannys. A chill ran down my back. I let an imposter into my house. I got up to leave.
Oh wow, finally he realized he let an imposter into his house. Congratulations. I am so glad you decided to use your brain for once.
The floor creaked loudly. I froze as Beth's imposter came around the corner. Hey, thanks for letting me come over, it said, holding the biggest knife I had. After all, I couldn't stay at Beth's place anymore. There was no one left for me to kill. It walked towards me. I grabbed the closest thing I could find, my ottoman, and threw it towards the imposter as hard as I could. It knocked them to the ground. The steak knife clanged on the floor. I grabbed my keys, swung the door open, and I ran. The imposter laughed the whole time. I made it to the parking garage and broke down. I didn't know how much more of this I could take or what else I could do.
How much more of what, bro? Basically, what happened to you so far is two of your friends suddenly started acting odd and they lied to you. Apparently, that's what a normal person would think. That's not even a lot. What? I mean, yeah, I think he found out that she killed Beth. Yeah, that's a lot to take it. Okay. I'm a bad person. Oops.
I took a deep breath and refocused. The nighttime air smelled like burning plastic, and the sounds of gunshots, screams, and car crashes were everywhere. My phone buzzed in my pocket. I was scared to look, scared that it would be Beth, but to my relief, it was Pat.
Alex, hey, you alright? I just saw your calls.
Someone got into my apartment and almost killed me. I ran away. You still at the pub? Is it safe there?
Okay, another interjection. Did someone get in or did you let someone in?
Yeah, I'm here and it's safe.
And I am sorry, how do you know this is the real Pat you're talking to? Because that Beth, wannabe Beth, let's just say, called you from Beth's phone, and wannabe Beth is the one trying to kill you, even though wannabe Beth convinced you somehow, like literally she didn't even try that hard, that she was the real Beth. So how do you know this is the real Pat and not the, Pat from earlier who was knocking on your door, banging on your door? Yeah.
Boarded everything up. If you need somewhere to go...
I'll be there soon, I interrupted. And Pat, thank you. I hung up and started to leave. I was just a few steps in when I heard...
You didn't even let him finish, but you hung up before he said anything? What? Oh my god. Why? Just let your friend fucking talk. This is why you don't interrupt people. Because now he's gonna go to the bar and turns out the bar wasn't there. Everybody lied. Everybody dead. It's just the imposter. And Moses is gonna be right again. Or Legion, my bad. Still getting used to it. Oops.
Someone crying. It started gentle, but quickly devolved into full-on sobbing. Whoever they are, they needed help. Maybe there was something I could do. I spent the next...
Isn't this literally how you got into the situation you're in right now? Maybe they needed help. Maybe there was something I could do. That's what you tried to do for Beth. And now you let your killer into your house. Bravo, congratulations. Walking into another trap.
5 minutes looking all over the garage, but couldn't find anyone. I thought someone was playing a trick on me.
Someone definitely was. I still don't believe that's a real person. Also, advice for everybody out there. If you hear somebody crying while you're alone, you did not hear anything. Doesn't matter what kind of sound it is, doesn't matter where it comes from. If you hear somebody crying when you're out all by yourself, you didn't hear anything. That should be the rule you should live with.
I'd go to one spot, only to hear it louder a few feet away. I'd get there, and they were now somewhere else. I was just about to give up and leave when it came from the car directly behind me, and then it stopped. Before I could turn around, both of my feet were yanked hard from behind, and I fell forward onto the garage floor. I was able to brace my fall and turned around to see what grabbed me.
And what did Liju say again? Liju was right. You know what? Let me change the background. It's only the moon, right? When I talk, let's go to this. Yeah, so pretty, right? Changing the mood. But what did I say? Was I right or was I right? Why did you have to be the hero? You are choosing to kill yourself at this point. This is why people don't play hero. You don't have superpowers. You are dealing with people who have superpowers. Know your lane and move on. Like, what?
Something crawled out from under the car. They looked just like me. They crawled on top of me with an alarming speed, and before I could react, hit me in the face. They then grabbed my shirt collar with both hands, lifted me off the ground, and slammed me back into the pavement. Their hands grabbed my neck and they started to choke me. I tried to get them off, but they were too strong. I went to scratch their face, and they moved just out of reach. With no other options, I grabbed my car keys out of my jacket pocket, and I jammed them as hard as I could into their ribcage. They recoiled back, howling with pain. They stumbled off me and stared at me in shock, and I got up and ran. Behind me, I heard them laugh. It echoed through the...
I would laugh too. Honestly, I don't get these creatures either. If you want to steal their life, it would have been so easy for you to assassinate them. Like, literally, this easy. You didn't even have to play games. You could have just bashed his head on the concrete super hot. He wouldn't be dead. You didn't have to play all these psychological mind games of knock knock, who's there. You could just stalk them for a while, take them out when they're not inside their house. If that's the rule, like you had to be invited into their house. So if you are not, take them out when they're grocery shopping. Take them out when they step out right of the car. It's so fucking easy. What? Superpowers get used to be dumb. Could never be me.
The garage and bellowed out into the street. I sprinted down the street, made a quick turn, ran down the next street, and ducked into an alleyway. I sat, hidden out of view, with my...
I am sorry, why did you run out to the street? What happened to your car? Weren't you gonna go in your car? Or did you just leave your keys in his ribcage? My first thing I would do is go in my car. Why didn't you just go in your car?
My focus completely...
Unless I missed it, the creatures were in his car, but they never said it was his car. They said just a random car from behind. So, yeah, why didn't you go to your car?
On that sliver of street, waiting to see if they'd followed me. After no less than 10 minutes, I hadn't seen a soul and decided it was safe enough to leave. I resumed my route, Around me, the night was completely silent, save for my footsteps smacking the sidewalk as I jogged to the pub. I was getting close. It would be more dangerous to slow down now. I heard someone behind me say with my voice, "Hey, come back here, you forgot something." I ran.
That is hella funny. Hey, come back here, you forgot your car keys. Jingle jingle. Oh my god. I like them. I like the monsters. They made me stupid. I think they're just having fun. That's why they torture them. You know, I'm back on their side.
And even faster now. I didn't have to look. I knew my doppelganger had found me. It was probably sitting in wait somewhere nearby. Did it think like I did? The pub was in sight now. It was completely dark. Behind me, my imposter started laughing. I reached the door and pounded on it. "Let me in. Please, please. It's an emergency." The door didn't budge. Nobody replied. My imposter was a block away. "Pat, let me in. It's me. It's really me. I can prove it," I said. My imposter was drawing close. And just then, the door opened from behind me. Someone grabbed the back of my neck and pulled me in. As soon as I was clear, the door was shut, locked, bolted, and blocked with a table. "You're the last one of the night," said an older man holding a shotgun. Pat greeted me with a smile. The pub was lit by candlelight. There was an uneasiness in the air.
I'm sorry, what happened to the electricity? It's barely been like 2 hours since he's... I wouldn't even say 2 hours, 20 minutes to eat the food. Yeah, because, okay, he was watching TV, right? And then right as soon as that happens, right as he's watching TV, the imposter knocks on his door. Right as the imposter drama finishes, about 2-3 minutes, I'm assuming, because who has time to knock for like 5 hours? Beth calls him, wannabe Beth, you know, another imposter. Phone call sounds like about a minute or two long, so she's on her way, 20 minutes, okay? Yeah, it's barely been like an hour or two. So what happened to the electricity? Why candlelight?
People kept sneaking glances at me and speaking quietly amongst themselves. The man with the shotgun introduced himself as Tom. He was the owner of the bar. "I don't normally greet my customers with a loaded shotgun," he said, "but I saw two of you out there, and I need to make sure you're the peaceful one of the two. Pat?" Pat stepped forward. "Hey man, I hope you understand. I'm gonna need to make sure it's really you. Tell me something only we would know," Pat said. I thought for a minute.
Pat is smart. The shop owner is smart. I like them.
And then finally, I replied, "When I was hired, you treated me to lunch and confided that it was honestly a pretty shitty place to work. That was our first day as friends." Pat laughed and gave the thumbs up to Tom. Pat got up and Tom extended his hand for a handshake.
Oh my god. I wish every job we've been to, this was the rule. One coworker takes us out to lunch, pays for our food, and then tells us the real tea. Everything. Like, they need to have spreadsheets, a whiteboard, PowerPoint presentations of who does what manager is asked, what manager actually is helpful, which coworkers to avoid, which coworkers to talk to. I need all the tea. All the tea. Two coworkers are beefing. I want to know what happened between them. I am a nosy person. I'm a TV watcher, entertainment seeker, yeah.
I interjected. "Pat, why'd you let me lie?" I asked. The pub grew dead silent. Pat turned around to face me. Anger flared in his eyes.
It is the fake Pat. That is so fucking funny. Oh my god. Wait, no, are you the fake one? Oh my god. Plot twist. Is it a tension? Tension.
"If you were really Pat," I continued, "you'd know I referred you to the job. I referred you Because you were my best friend. Tom turned his focus to Pat and raised his gun. We waited for Pat's imposter to say something, anything, but it just stared at me. A smile crept across its face as it stifled and sputtered, trying to contain a laugh. Time slowed to a crawl as I watched the imposter lunge at Tom. It viciously shook the gun loose from his grasp, and a moment later, I was staring down the gun's barrel. My mind raced, but no matter how hard I tried, I had nothing left that I could do. This was it. And then two things happened. First, the imposter tried to fire Tom's gun, only to find that it was empty. In that same moment, a beer flew across the room and cracked into the back of its head. I scanned for the source of the projectile and found none other than the real Pat.
Hey, oh my god. Pat is fucking smart, and so see, I knew I liked Pat and the owner. Good job keeping your gun empty. Oh my god, that is so fucking smart. If somebody steals it, oh, it's empty.
Noticeably worse for wear, the imposter hit the ground. Tom kicked his gun out of its reach. Members of the crowd who'd gotten up to look swarmed to kick its teeth in and stomped on it. They were sickeningly eager to be violent, like they were waiting for an excuse. I looked at Tom. He must have read the disgust on my face. He started to talk, but stopped himself. He moved around the crowd. Some folks had started to pull away, but others seemed to be just getting started. They'd been waiting for their turn. They're good people, just a little scared is all.
Are they, Tom, or did you just decide to be as benevolent as everybody else in your holier than thou state and let some of the imposters in? Like, bro, come on now. Why?
Tom weakly offered. He walked closer to me and started to speak more quietly. It's different, you know? This morning we were all normal. Then we locked ourselves in here for hours while the city tore itself apart. How many people don't even know if their family is alive or dead?
Wait, I am sorry, I am so confused. What is the timeline? Because I feel like all of this happened within, I want to say 3 hours, because again, Tom or Pat got off work early and went to the pub. Alex went straight home, okay? He went straight home, started watching TV. And then, as he was watching TV, everything, all the craziness started to happen. But if everything was happening from the morning, they wouldn't have to go to work. Pat wouldn't be at the bar. I don't know. What is the timeline? Because not a person, nobody except for like alcoholics. Pat doesn't sound like this person. Okay, I'll say it. Pat doesn't sound like one of those depressed alcoholics or crazy person who wakes up inside a bar to go back to sleep inside a bar at the same table. That character from American Dad, Mickey Stool. Yeah, the stool was named after Mickey. That's why it was called Sit on Famous Mickey Stool. In that episode, Roger Passes the Bar, season 10.
Or real when they finally find him. Can you blame them? What if this thing was allowed to walk out of here? He asked. I had no answer for him. I shrugged. Pat made his way over as the crowd started to thin out. The thing's rattling, raspy breathing stopped minutes ago. Nobody realized or even cared that it was already dead. Everyone went back to their cozy corner of the pub. A game of pool resumed. A laugh wasn't heard long after. They'd moved on. Were they so different after all? Were any of us? From the violent things pretending to be us? Was one night all it takes? Tom looked at Pat and I. Could you give me a hand, please, if that's okay? We nodded and moved to help Tom carry the carcass away. We dragged it behind the bar, past an employees only sign, an overflowing trash can, and through the kitchen to the freezer room, where we unceremoniously tossed it next to a few other corpses. Tom broke the silence. Not the first incident of the night. He let out an exhaustive sigh and wiped sweat from his forehead before looking at Pat and I with a nod of gratitude. And it'll be the last if I can help it. We worked our way back out to the bar. If it wasn't for the puddle of blood in the middle of the floor or the boarded up windows, it looked just like any other night here. Pat poured me a drink. It almost got me, you know, Pat said as he slid my drink towards me. It found me in the kitchen, and it was this close to stabbing me in the throat. Tom walked in just at the right time for me to run, he said. I'm glad you made it, I said, and I took a swig. Me too, Alex. It took time, but I settled in. We played games of pool, watched movies, and got to know the people with us. It wasn't long before day broke and the sun rose over the horizon. I watched the sunrise and suddenly realized I didn't have my phone on me. I retraced my steps from the night before. I had it in my apartment. I had it in the garage when Pat called back. I looked out at the street. My bright blue phone case stood out against the pavement. I must have dropped it when I was yanked into the pub. The coast was clear, not a soul or shadow in sight, so
Are you really going to risk everything? Everybody. All the way. For your goddamn phone? Are you serious? Are you stupid? You are stupid, I know that, but oh my god. You single-handedly disrespected everybody named Alex out there. Wow.
I went out to retrieve it. As I got closer, the details of the scene rendered into view. Sitting next to it, in a pool of dried blood, was my car keys, the same keys I'd plunged into my imposter. I shakily picked both up and hurried back inside. My phone had 5 missed calls arranged alphabetically and 1 unread text message. I paged to my call history to see them in better detail. And that's when I saw that someone had called every contact in my address book, each and every one, up until whatever found my phone called my mom. I went to the text message, and a shiver ran up my spine. At 6:48, Mom had wrote, "Hi, honey, I see you outside. I'll be right down to let you in."
Okay, first of all, I am so sorry for leaving it on this beautiful, picturesque cherry blossom scene for a few seconds. I forgot. But are you surprised? Are you surprised, Alex, that your doppelganger is texting people? Hey, it's me, Alex. I'll be right there. Help me. I need help. Bro, you left your phone outside. What else did you expect? And I was surprised to see that someone had texted all the contacts. Bro, you know who it was. You know who it was. Y'all, he chose to be stupid. Now, all of this would have been avoided, like his mom not dying, if he didn't decide to save anybody. None of this would have happened. Bro, you would have been in your house, in your AC, chilling and everything. People fucking choose to be stupid. This guy, he chose to be stupid. I am convinced. But the story was fun though, I won't lie. I would rate it 6.7 out of 10. I feel like the timeline was off. I feel like the imposters could have been smarter, but honestly, I feel like they were just there for a good time, not survival or anything, okay? And Alex, stop being a fucking hero. I don't know what is with all these people, like all the protagonists and this hero complex that I need to save people. It's the right thing to do. No, it's not. When it's Ghost versus you, Ghost has no powers. The fuck you gonna do? Get in the way Like, what if ghost possesses you and hates the person you're trying to save? Best thing to do is get out there, call a fucking priest. Hey, priest, there's a ghost over here. Can you come help us? Somebody's in danger. I don't know why I went British, but here we are now. That fucking simple. Okay? Anyways, thank you for listening. Please support Lighthouse Horror Stories. Great stories all the time. Oh my god. One of my favorite narrators, one of my favorite storytellers. But this is where I will leave it today, and we will see each other, or you will hear from me on Thursday. This Thursday, like, y'all, I kept my promise of uploading on 7/7/2024, so I had to upload on 7/11. Oh my god, y'all. College starts on 7/11. Ah, okay. I will still do it. I will record on Wednesday, and I will schedule it for Thursday. I promise. Maybe. Anyways, that is all I have for today. Thank you for coming. Thank you for listening. You know, don't get creeped out by the story. I mean, hopefully I am in your dreams, and you know, you dream that I'm a millionaire or anything, and you don't see all the scary stuff. But yeah, have a good night. Pieces.